Hey, Scott from MyGrowthRings.com here.
Seth from SethMarkwood.com.
Together along with you, the three of us, we are Markwood Men's Breakfast Club. Welcome back once again. And in this case, welcome back to Tobacco Advent 2021, day 14. Good morning, boy.
Good morning, Homer. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. How about yourself?
I am also doing well. All right, so this morning, our friend Paul, YouTube channel named Shade Trees and Pipe Dreams, wrote this. Dear Scott and Seth, I picked up pipe smoking on Thanksgiving of this year. So this is Thanksgiving of 2020. And am enjoying the journey. So at this point, Paul had only been smoking pipes for about 2 weeks when this was sent over. I stumbled across y'all's videos yesterday and I'm loving them. I find it heartwarming to see a father and son enjoying a hobby together. It's all for show.
We're not even related.
That's right. Thank you all for the great content. Why do you think I've grown the beard? We just kept getting mistaken for
Boyd.
I've enclosed some tobacco that I have dubbed Rookie Cookie or Rookie Mistake. I mixed vanilla custard and buttered rum blends, just experimenting with flavors. Thanks again. This is again from Paul, Shade Trees and Pipe Dreams. Paul, thank you so much. I hope a year later you are still enjoying pipe smoking and the journey thereof.
Rookie Cookie. So, in lieu of a question of the day, a couple days back we were talking about things you maybe want to learn. I hearkened back to the fact that Seth a year or two ago was talking about wanting to learn 3D printing, and I asked him, I said, why didn't you bring any 3D printed stuff in? And well, we discussed it. Most of what he's got right now is stuff he's making for Christmas presents for people. Which is a shame. What are the chances your sister-in-law is going to watch our channel?
Right. Well, I think the odds are slim, but I've 3D printed something for my wife, for my mother-in-law, for some other members of my family, and so while I think it is slim, I didn't want to bring it off bring it to show off just in case. But the question of the day is what projects or gifts have you been working on that you're excited about this year? So I can't tell you what I've been working on, but I can show you some of the other cool things that I have used 3D printing for in the past months that are non-Christmas related. So my 9-year-old Ender, his favorite TV show, I swear this wasn't intentional parental influencing, is Darkwing Duck. The show from the 90s, a cartoon that was a spin-off of DuckTales. And if you're a child of the 90s, you definitely know Darkwing Duck. And he was...
Let's Get Dangerous.
Let's Get Dangerous. He's watched through most of them. And although I was actually surprised to learn just a week ago that he hasn't made it all the way through. I think there were 4 seasons initially, and he hasn't made it through all of them.
So he doesn't know how Darkwing dies?
That's right. I mean, or does he?
Well, he ends up becoming a lumberjack.
Spoilers. There's a throwback. So for Halloween, he really wanted to dress up as Darkwing Duck, and so he enlisted the help of my brother-in-law, who professionally sews at a factory and has done cosplay work in the past. And so my brother-in-law and sister-in-law helped him design a costume. I'll try to add a picture here, but I mean, he is Darkwing Duck. He's got the purple vest. He's
both
got
pictures, right? Darkwing and Ender. We got to have a contrast to see what Darkwing looks like. For those who don't know who Darkwing Duck is.
I see. Right. He has a purple cape that was made. They made a duck bill that he wore as a mask and a hat, the whole 9 yards.
They made that duck bill.
Yeah, they made it out of an anti-fatigue mat and a heat gun and formed it around a mask and then painted it. Yeah, and so one of the things that Darkwing Duck has is he has his gas gun that sprays gas, knockout gas for the bad guys, and so this is a 3D printed. Again, I didn't design this. This is a prefabricated design. 3D printed gas gun from the Darkwing Duck series. The only thing that this is different from the real one is the center section here is kind of a purple. But
the real one actually dispenses gas.
That's right. This design printed in several parts. So the barrel here is one component. these are actually two components, and that's so that they can be oriented the right way when printing. The handle and scope was one piece, and then this piece was one, and then the handle was a separate piece. What was really clever about the way they designed this is these had holes in there, and then it had 3D printable pins. And so there are places where this is just pinned together using these
kind of barb, right, in a way.
Yeah, so they go in and but resist being pulled out. And I just added a dab of super glue. Now that this piece is a little bit loose, but all the other pieces that the glue has been put in just fine. And so he carried this around for Halloween. So we did two Halloween excursions in neighborhoods. And he, if you want to, well, there you go.
There's the dowels.
Yeah, and he was really disappointed that no one knew who his costume was. And this isn't not many people, especially the kids. The kids thought he was Perry the Platypus from Phineas and Ferb, a much more recent reference. And so he was really disappointed that people weren't recognizing him as Darkwing Duck. Week after Halloween, we went to the Triad, our local Comic-Con they were holding. And so I don't know if you have ever been to Comic-Con, but Comic-Con is mostly attended by people like me, my age, my size, and my nerdy persuasion. He got so many compliments on his I cannot count how many strangers with pictures of my kid dressed up as Darkwing Duck. People were asking, "Can I get your picture? Can I get a selfie?" And he loved that. He loved that. I mean, all of these components took maybe a day to print so with 3D printing, you can print in different resolutions. And so if you want something to look really, really nice, you print it at high resolution, which takes a long time because it's printing very fine layers. This is printed in draft resolution. So it is very imperfect. There are bumps and things from the speed of the print, but it allowed me to print the whole thing in a day. The logic, and I gave it to him a week before he needed it, and the logic there is if he broke it, I could print him another one. It's no big deal.
So are there solvents you could use, or could you sand that if you wanted that to be smoother? They say you could have printed it smoother as well. I mean, the texture's not bad by any means.
So something of a similar size I printed that is a gift, and so it is of a higher quality. All of those components together printed in 18 hours. Something of a similar size that is very, very nice. It doesn't have the bumps and ridges and things. That is a gift. It took 48 hours to print. So, almost 3 times as long.
So literally it's like printing a photograph in a lower or higher resolution, more dots per inch in that case, and this is doing more layers, or what is it when you go to a higher resolution that makes that?
Yeah, so it is
slower?
A layer height that changes. So if you have a smaller layer height, it's laying down less plastic per layer, but then it's laying down a lot more layers. So the movement, the travel speed of the printer doubles, triples, sometimes quadruples based on that resolution. But because it is not going as quickly, like on this one, there are all sorts of bumps and ridges around the edge. That doesn't happen at the higher resolution. This is because the plastic is cooling while more plastic is being laid down, and the print head is moving and laying down a lot, and so it's just less precise. Other factors, so on the internal layers, they have what's called infill, and you can choose what the infill is. So something that you want to be beefy and be sturdy if it were to accidentally fall, you would print with more infill, which means there's more plastic on the inside. Something like this is printed at both a lower resolution, but also a lower infill amount. So this has maybe 10% of everything on the inside interior between some of the outer walls. Like this whole piece, kind of thing. Think like lattice work. And you can choose different shapes for that based off of the different print characteristics, but it will make webbing or lattice work inside to support the guts. So that's not just a hollow shell. But so having more of that adds weight, it adds structure, it also adds time. So a number of factors go into play there. But the other thing that is it's kind of a prototype for potential Christmas gifts, and I think it absolutely worked, is this puzzle here. And so the black piece is 3D printed. The, thank you. The colored balls are plastic, purchased in semi-bulk quantities from Amazon. 30 of the balls were $10. And this particular puzzle uses 5 of each color of 6 different colors. So half of that 30 pack is used in this. So this costs $5 in those parts. There are also 8 magnets on the interior here, and I'll show you how this spins. So part of the solving of the puzzle is this rotates. So now you have a different structure, and you're moving the pieces.
Okay, so wait, do that again. So now you have a large outer link.
Yep.
And a narrower. So this is holding fewer.
That's right.
Fewer beads than that one.
And around, at this point, around each of the 2 perimeters is 15 beads. So when you spin it, you're breaking some of the chains. And so you're trying to get all 5 of a single color together. Ultimately, you're trying to get all 5 of each color together. So it's one of those puzzles like a Rubik's Cube, where especially at the end, the final solution will involve having half chains or partial chains on opposite sides that, as you move the pieces together, completes it all in one fell swoop. And so this has another pin similar to the dowels in here to clamp it together. And then on the inside, it had holes for magnets. And so I bought some rare earth magnets, made sure they matched because that's super important, and glued them in using E6000 glue. I don't know if you've used that.
Yeah,
I had to buy some. And so it locks into place at each corner turn.
That's really slick.
So the designer Make Anything is a YouTube channel. He designed this and has made a ton of other things on there. It's a great channel. There are a number of different versions of this puzzle. So again, I printed this printed the 2 halves. If I were to rip this apart and put them end to end so that they're in this orientation each, that's how it prints. So it's a flat surface and then it's ramping up. Print 2 of these at a time. It took, I think, 4 to 6 hours to do this whole puzzle. If I were giving this as a gift, I would choose different colors to make the plastic colorful and would choose a higher resolution. This again has that rough texture. For any of these, you could sand them. You could use, they use like polishing paper and stuff. Acetone won't work on this. So this is a vegetable-based plastic, and so it doesn't react to acetone. Other plastics do react to acetone and do make for fast smoothing. But my plan is to make a couple of the smaller versions of these puzzles in some brighter colors and to give as Christmas gifts. The people I will be giving these to have already seen this one, and so it's not a surprise. But you know, I've got a lot of members of my family that love puzzles. They love Rubik's cubes. I think this is right down their alley. And again, the cost, especially at scale, is really inexpensive for a unique gift.
Was the plan free? Did the creator of that make that downloadable for free?
So for this particular version, it was. He has created some that are like $1 or maybe as much as $5. I don't, but that have more ornate shapes. So he took the same design and made one that looks like a 1920s architecture.
Art Deco kind of a thing.
Art Deco around the edge, so it's pretty, and so you can pay extra for the ones that are a little bit prettier from the design standpoint.
More work in it, then. That's neat.
It's also, I mean, it's also, if you have that as a skill, it's really smart because you're able to build an audience by giving away free stuff. You're also able to, it's almost a Patreon sort of thing. The people that want something a little fancier can get it. So, you know, just in the gifts that I have, just from this year I really leaned into the 3D printer for some gift ideas. I have probably saved almost as much in purchasing gifts as the 3D printer costs itself. The spools of filament are $20, and the one spool of filament, I think I could probably make 8 to 10 of these blasters with one spool of filament. So, you know, think about other gifts, things like these puzzles. I could easily make 30 of these puzzles for $20 worth of plastic. The magnets, I've got enough magnets for 20 puzzles, and then it's just ends up being $5 worth of beads for every
Find a source
for every
cheap
puzzle.
beads then.
Yeah, so for $6, you're making something that someone would buy at the mall for $20.
$7,
That's at least $7.
You know what? I feel terrible because I'm not making anything for Christmas this year.
Mm.
I'm baking some things, but that's about it. Well, okay, so I'm living vicariously through you and through Boy. What are you making for gifts this year? Tell us all about it in the comment section below, or better yet, shoot a video response. We'd love to see that. And that's it for today. We will see you tomorrow for Tobacco Advent Day 15.
Woo! See you guys then.
Make it a great day.
Bye.